Who was that guy? They said that was Matty from Matty Raps at the hospital when we were playing Call of Duty Mobile. You gotta play that Call of Duty Mobile, guys. It's freaking dope. You play on your phone, and it's all the Call of Duty. It's not the whole story. It was almost the whole story. And then we had World of Warcraft, where we had the beginning of when I went to the United States. But unfortunately, I thought this one was one, right? Because we have a lot of ones, outtakes that never make it. So I thought this one was one. And then when I went to Gamecaster, I checked my hard drive, and I thought it was the right hard drive that was chosen. But it ended up, it was not the right hard drive that was chosen. It was the wrong one. So when I recorded this epic start, I was a gnome. I talked about how Matthew, I went down to the Florida and I got to see him play WoW for the first time. And that's how I started playing WoW and the whole story with it and blah, blah, blah. It was so good. And that was the freaking movie. A Coca-Cola. A Coca-Cola. Yeah, he's got to get... Wait till a couple months from now. That's going to be all purple inside. It's going to look epic. A Coca-Cola with two burgers. But we're not eating both burgers right now. Just enjoy the Coca-Cola. Haven't had a Coca-Cola in a while. Barely can afford a goddamn Coca-Cola. I won't even be making that movement after the Coca-Cola. Yeah, I can barely afford a Big Mac. I mean, that's why with the little money I had, I chose to get a Big Mac. I said, I'm not getting any of those nasty cold meats or anything like that to buy. I have a little money. I'm going to get a nice Big Mac, hot Big Mac. It's cooled down now. And I'm going to have that because it's going to get it's going to fill my craving a lot better than any other thing I could think of. And it's here and it's ready to go. And that's my Big Mac. Now, what's he got in the other box? I mean, and what's he even doing with his life? Well, I've been playing Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. It's this new, you gotta play it. Mafia, it's on Steam. Gary, whatever? No, Steam. It's not nothing to do with any other guy. It's called Steam. You download it, anybody that's got a PC, you download it on your PC. And that's how everyone's playing the games. You know, you have your Xbox, your PS5 or whatever, but you want a PC, you got to get this thing called Steam. Everybody, well, they say everybody knows that now, but hey, if you don't know that, I was one of those guys that didn't know that. That's the whole thing I get now in America. It's like, get them on the computers, get them this, get them that. They learn the American lifestyle. And I was like, hey, I learned everything. I'm going back to Canada. Bring it back to Canada with me. Which is legal, fully legal. Now, there's certain things, there's certain taxes you have to pay and all that if the revenue starts to come from which I do. The way I sign it most of the time, to where if I was ever getting any revenue, yeah, I do every month. Gift, I'm allowed 10,000 in gifts a year. It's fully exempted. Like, who do you think you are? Listen. Anyways, other than that, we might try the Big Mac. No, I pay my taxes like, that's what we're talking about. When I made 100,000, when I made 100,000, Kyle paid the taxes. He was required. When he had everyone sign up over at File Ice, the deal was that the taxes were to be paid. And then at the end, he tried switching it. Oh, only U.S. people. But no, from the beginning, he said. So then after the money got made, they started saying, oh, but then they ended up, but here's the thing. They're a great American family that owned that File Ice, and I'll vouch, they paid my taxes. I've heard from the government of the United States. They filed the tax. They had to. At first, Kyle was trying to ask me, and I said, Kyle, I can't do it. I mean, it said. And then he paid it. He was like, oh, and then they took care of it. I mean, you have to pay your taxes, especially when you're capable of it. Because I'm not capable of it. Like, File Ice went out of business. So, it was one of those things. But I think a lot of kids that were in big business back then, they'll be back to business again one day. But right now, a lot of kids got learning that, wow, like, we look up to dad and mom and all that because they have a hard job. I remember thinking, like, well, what makes me different than mom and dad? Well, mom and dad get serious sometimes, and especially with the paying the taxes and other stuff. There's all types of stuff that you learn that parents and adults deal with. Parents, adults, whatever. Because an adult is a person that's a certain age, whereas a parent is somebody that has a child. There's two different things. Yeah, you don't have to be a parent to be a legal adult, and you don't have to be a legal adult to be a parent. That's what some people were surprised with the self-defense on Phil. Because he's a parent, he was treating me like I didn't have any legal adult rights. But under law, we've seen, even though I'm not a parent, even though I'm the age of his son, Cam, but even though I'm not a parent, I still have a rights as an adult. He can't take my rights away like I'm not an adult. And it had nothing to do with anything adult. But when it came to your human rights. Look at that ketchup do it. Man, this beard's gotta go. Native smokes. Native smokes. They're a thing in real life, and they're a thing even on the internet. You can buy them, eh? They're famous in Canada. People love those cigarettes, and you're not really supposed to talk about it too much. You know, it used to be on the advertisement. But people love Canadian food, Canadian cigarettes, Canadian marijuana, Canadian alcohol. Sometimes people are in the mood for Canada. Even Miss Terry from Linden, Tennessee, got to come up to Canada. I never thought she would go that far north. We went to Kentucky, but never did I ever to see them. I think it was Miss Terry, Mr. the principal from Linden Middle School. Anything. I love those people. Loved them. I sat right beside them, but we didn't even talk. We just ate. And they were talking. And I just coincidentally seen them God's plan, right? And they were there for all the way from Tennessee up in Canada. I even met over at Bethel. There was some folks from the volunteer state all the way up at Bethel in Georgetown, Ontario. Canada, that's where I'm at. But in the grand scale of things, it's only 3 or 4 states north of Tennessee. And that's where I live. I've been to Tennessee. I got to go to Nashville, Linden, Hohenwald, the Plateau. The only place on the Plateau that I remember is Dyke Street. It was right... But I remember the Plateau. There's a lot of wine and this and that. But I wanted to go to Pigeon Forge and all. Oh, I went to... Not Dolly Parton's, but the other one. Loretta Lynn's Flea Market. We went there. And I think we met Loretta Lynn. Florida. I got to even go to the Bahamas.